Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of our MechCommander 2 Single Mech Challenge. We're picking things right back up where we left off with the defeat of the bandit leader and completion of our contract with House Steiner. We now find ourselves in the employ of our former adversaries, House Liao. Now looking at the mech bay, I'm excited to try out our newly salvaged Lao Hu Heavy Mech. It's got great speed, decent heat and armor capacity, as well as excellent mobility with its jump jets. This feels perfect for a jumping PPC build, so I load 2 ER PPCs and 2 regular PPCs, along with 4 armor components, nearly at its maximum. I give Steel piloting duties this time. Let's get started.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors prepare for combat.
In House Liao Mission 1, we have 1 primary and 1 secondary objective. Destroy all Gulag defenders and capture the Steiner headquarters. This will facilitate the rescue of House Liao loyalists from the Steiner-controlled prison complex. The opening sequence features our former employer, Colonel Renard, berating us for working with his enemies, then instructing the defending vehicles to destroy the prison rather than allow the prisoners to be freed. We're urged to come to their rescue before it's too late. I begin by heading east towards a nearby turret outpost when I'm intercepted by enemy LRM carriers. I jump to try a cinematic PPC volley, only for the mech to land before orienting to fire. After that, a Hollander attacks us with its lone Gauss rifle. I keep backing him down, making it difficult to fire, and he soon goes down. We are then attacked by an enemy Razorback, who I back up from, instructing Steel to aim for the cockpit. Well, that didn't work. We'll have to try that more later. After repairing, we can claim the turret control. Then I use some control clicking to queue up some commands for Steel to move and jump up to the hills. Then the game completely freezes. Great. On the next try, it actually freezes a second time when I'm attempting to queue up jump jets. Alright, message received. No more using the control button to queue up jump jet commands. On the next go, I'm ambushed by the 2 initial light mechs when I land on the side of the hill. I attempt to retreat when... Alright, that was somewhat unexpected. So we're obviously not off to a great start here. This time I draw the enemy mechs away from the turrets, then jump in to capture the turret control. I then draw the enemies to the east to take them on with my mech. I again try to instruct Steel to target the cockpit, so it takes a long time to take the Razorback down. I don't think we're quite ready to target specific components yet. After repairing up, I then start engaging the Hollander. It's interesting to note how Steel will opt to alpha strike all 4 PPCs with this mixed loadout if I'm at the correct range. I eventually draw him back to the turrets to help finish him off. We're then engaged by another Hollander, which I can push to close range to limit incoming damage. With the initial defenders finally down, I can check in on the prison. I think we're a bit late to the party, guys. Fortunately, despite the destruction, we're able to carry on with the mission. I head north and engage the frontline defender, our first encounter with an enemy hunchback. I begin engaging him and backing off to the west. As long as I stay away from its close-range heavy autocannon... Oh jeez. Okay, good thing that missed. I continue walking him back to the west until he falls. Now we can approach the headquarters area with a turret control and resource buildings. Approaching from the high ground reveals first a Razorback and then an enemy Zeus. Oof, this should be fun. But on the way in, I spot a set of handy destructible fuel tanks. I fire from the north and back off, eating some missiles in the process. As the Zeus approaches, I try to target the tanks, but Steel fires at the mech first instead. I then frantically click, accidentally targeting the fence, then finally hitting the tanks. Oh, what a mess. At least he took some damage still. I call in an artillery piece for some help, then kite the mech to the west. A couple of back hits takes him down. Now for the Razorback. As I engage it, the artillery decides to take the initiative and fire on the mech, destroying the nearby turret generator in the process. Great. At least I managed to cancel its targeting before it destroys the nearby resource base too. I can now move in to capture the headquarters and resources, fulfilling the secondary objective. I drop a second repair truck to get fixed up, then move on to the now leveled prison complex. It's mostly defended by vehicles, so I'm happy to introduce to our artillery friend. As we repair, we're again contacted by Renard, who orders his forces to bomb the complex. A partisan fighter named Baxter then contacts us to inform us they're sending a convoy to evacuate the prisoners, but will require protection from the enemy forces. As I wait for the convoy to arrive, I head east to explore the airfield to see what we're up against, and yeah, I draw more attention than I wanted to. A set of attack helicopters and an Atlas begin charging in. I retreat up the hill and drop an artillery piece. It does some good initial work on the Atlas, but I have to continue to back up, retreating down the hill. Then back to the north to bring it back into range. I then get surprised by another mech attacking from the east. I set the artillery to alternate fire between the two mechs, taking down the Atlas. Now a decent-sized group of enemies are chasing us. A Razorback and Hollander join the fight, and I start receiving Gauss fire. I continue to evade, jumping away and drawing them into the artillery fire. After an extended barrage, the mechs begin to fall one by one. Now I have to take on the airborne enemies myself. Alright, the attack is foiled, but we still need to clear the airbase to give them an avenue to escape. I drop one last artillery piece to help with the defenders, and jump in to steal the turret controls.
Objective complete.
Time to extract.
Objective complete.
Alright, bad start aside, we still get the job done pretty effectively.
Mission successful.
Alright guys, I read your comments about salvaging. I grab all the mechs to salvage and sell later for a profit. Steel ends the mission with 10 vehicles and 3 mechs downed. As I prep for the next mission, I promptly forget to sell my newly salvaged mechs and head in with the same configuration.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors prepare for combat.
In House Liao Mission 2, we are given 4 primary objectives. Capture the Davion Weapons Facility, Steiner Weapons Facility, Steiner Headquarters, and Extract. We also have 2 secondary objectives to capture the resource buildings at the Davion base and to salvage the mechs at the salvage yard. The overall plan is for us to start a war between Davion and Steiner by taking Davion mechs and using them to attack Steiner territory. Given that our approach is covered by a sensor net, we are advised to use Liao mechs with ECM to sneak in and grab the infrastructure without alerting the enemy. I opt to just take our powerful Lao Hu instead.
Enemy resources captured.
After grabbing the resources from the eastern island, I begin to head north, when I come under fire from another new mech, a House Davion Heavy Jaeger mech. Well, make that 2 of them. I back up under constant long-range autocannon fire. I drop a trusty artillery to help out as I can't take these guys on alone. Then we engage in a long-range slugfest as neither side wants to approach to closer range. Eventually, we wear down the first one and take it out with PPC fire. I opt to move to close range for his partner, preventing him from firing at us consistently, and allow Steel to finish the job solo. Now we can head north and grab some LRM turret controls. I also spot a resource truck on an island to the west, which we grab as well.
Enemy resources captured.
After some quick repairs, I press on north, towards a turret base on the hill. I suddenly come under ER laser fire from multiple directions, forcing a retreat. I bring the enemies to the missile turrets, revealing the adversaries as 2 enemy wolfhounds. Even with the turret help, I have to back up to artillery range to finish off the second mech. Okay, back to the high ground. I claim the turret control, then a second set of turrets below. I head east to a third set of turrets when we spot an enemy Enfield medium mech. Oddly, he runs back to his own turrets rather than engage. But in the meantime, my repair truck comes under fire in the backfield. I try to run back to assist, but have to deal with an enemy wolfhound along the way. By the time I'm done with him, the truck is gone and I don't have the resources to order another one. The Enfield then chases as I engage the vehicles, so I instead opt to circle around him and grab the turret control he was guarding earlier. Now as he approaches, he has to run through multiple sets of autocannon turrets. I then draw him to the lower turrets and finally pull off a cool-looking jump shot. Followed by a not-so-cool-looking jump shot. I head to the base, then use my jump jets to peek over the base walls, spotting some defending medium mechs. We draw out 2 more Enfields and deal with them accordingly. Another peek reveals a third mech who refuses to leave his position for some reason. So I instruct Steel to start to go to work, instructing him to aim for the cockpit for salvage. Yeah, so it takes quite a while. He's obviously not quite ready for this strategy yet. Jeez, that thing absorbed a ton of damage.
Enemy resources captured.
Building captured.
Grabbing the resource buildings gives us just enough resource points to salvage all 5 of the enemy mechs, which is required to fulfill the secondary objective. Fortunately, there is a repair bay nearby that we can use in lieu of a repair truck. Capturing the weapons facility turns out to be a huge benefit, netting us a plethora of clan energy weapons. Now it's time to assault Steiner territory, and since the mission requires it, we get to bring a full team along. Rather than charge across the bridge, I try to see if Steel can jump the river to the north to grab the defending turrets. His mech doesn't have the range, but Worm's Shadowcat just barely has the range to make the jump. On that note, what kind of mech warrior handle is Worm anyway?
Building captured.
Okay, we get the turrets and deal with some local vehicle resistance.
Long shot here. Target locked in. I got it.
I then head up the hill to the north, grabbing the exterior turret controls and drawing the attention of 2 enemy shootist mechs. Man, these things can take a beating on veteran difficulty, even when facing 6 opponents. I back them up to our turrets to assist, eventually winning the fight while taking moderate damage on a couple of mechs. I send them to repair back at the original base, then continue on. Jumping Steel into the northwest base allows us to capture the next weapons facility, granting us swarm LRMs. I then send him south to scout when I hit a minefield. Yeah, let's not go this way. While I'm backing off, I'm challenged by a Zeus assault mech. I draw him back to our team waiting at the turrets to the north.
Target. Roger that.
Man, this variety of firepower looks so cool. Okay, now to the middle base. We attack, drawing in 2 Razorback mechs. Okay, these guys stand up to entirely too much firepower for their weight class before going down. Since Steel is damaged and the capability of the repair bay is now exhausted, I instead jump the Shadowcat in to capture the base facilities.
Building captured.
To the south is another couple of unfortunate Razorback enemy mechs.
Long shot here. Target locked in.
I then send Worm to the southern part of the final base to scout the enemy defenders. He spots an enemy bushwhacker and a turret control. I grab the latter to the east.
Building captured.
Jumping behind the medium enemy mech also reveals an enemy Highlander who unloads from range. I back up behind the fuel tanks, then try to be fancy and drop a sensor probe to reveal their location. Instead, I end up clicking the wrong spot several times before the probe comes out. By then, the enemy is on top of the Shadowcat. Wow, that was some terrible execution on my part. Well, we didn't really like that guy anyway, right guys? I then follow up with Steel to draw in the damaged enemy mechs, then use the rest of the team and the turrets to start firing on them. The turrets then score a back shot on the Highlander. Soon the Bushwhacker falls as well. I head in to capture the final buildings when I'm surprised by another enemy Zeus. I choose to engage him with the team inside the base, with Twitch taking the brunt of the attack. I back off, then target the ammo dumps behind him, but the Zeus keeps coming. I continue to engage, but he keeps attacking our Enfield with his energy weapons. Well, okay, we didn't like him either, right, guys? Finally, the Zeus goes down and we capture the headquarters.
Objective complete.
Man, let's get out of here before I lose any more mechs.
Objective complete.
Can we leave now? Guys? Fade out, please? Ah, there we go.
Mission successful.
Okay, since I forgot to sell my mechs last time, I'm a little low on cash, so I opt out of salvage for this mission. Claymore gets a ribbon for showing up. Longshot takes down 3 mechs. Okay, this is gonna take way too long. Meek gets a mech, Steel gets 5 vehicles and 6 mechs and a Valor Medal. Worm gets a ribbon and a purple heart. Twitch takes down 3 mechs, wins a ribbon and a purple heart. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, vacation's over, guys. Back to a single mech. I now take the time to sell off some surplus mechs. Then opt to change the loadout of our Lao Hu to 3 clan ERPPCs and 3 LRM racks. Steel once again gets piloting duties.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors prepare for combat.
In House Liao Mission 3, we are given 5 objectives: destroy the 4 enemy convoys and extract. We're dropped in the middle of the map along a convoy route with 2 bases to the west. I head to the river and jump across the small islands, which allows direct access to the turret control in the larger base. Just as I jump to capture it, enemy vehicles move into block, but because they're LRM-equipped hunters, they back up to remain at range, allowing me to capture after all. This guarantees their doom. I clear the remaining defenders and grab the 2 resource buildings. Now for the northern base. This is protected by long-range missile turrets. As I approach the control, I'm challenged by multiple enemy mechs, so I immediately retreat to the south. I repair up as the Wolfhound and Jaeger mech approach. The first one drops quickly. Then we get quite the cinematic combat sequence against the heavy Jaeger mech. I now move forward and manage to grab the turret control amongst a hail of LRMs. I drop a sensor probe, but I don't see much enemy presence, so I begin exploring southeast. I engage the lead helicopter elements, finishing them off quickly. Moving forward, we are engaged by a first and then a second Uller enemy mech. I'm surprised when we get knocked down quickly. Man, those lasers and autocannons hurt. I managed to escape to repair, causing the enemies to follow to the LRM base. The light armor of the mechs doesn't fare well against our combined firepower. I drop another sensor probe to spot the next set of vehicles and mechs approaching, again drawing them to the numerous missile turrets. The convoy parks on the base to await their escorts, but I continue to fire at range. Man, I'm having way too much fun with these jump jets. Now some heavier resistance approaches. I move to the south as multiple mechs blow through the wall. Then 3 Enfields with vehicle support begin to approach. Due to their limited range though, as long as I stay at a distance, I can remain relatively safe. I take the time to wear them all down. Okay, time for a third sensor probe. My timing turns out to be fortuitous as I spot several contacts moving past fuel tanks along the road. I quickly launch an airstrike on the tanks, causing heavy damage and destroying 2 of them. Now we can clean them up as they approach. I continue firing at range when I start getting hit with long-range autocannon fire. 2 Jägermechs approach, followed by a third. Okay, these are actually dangerous for us. I carefully move in, then out of max range, pulling one of them towards us. The other 2 move north to engage the base, and I take advantage, assisting in taking down the last one. We then take down another medium Enfield, finally achieving our first objective.
Objective complete.
Not much time to rest though, as I'm suddenly engaged by lots of LRM fire. Our first Clan Vulture arrives. Facing Clan LRMs is no joke, so I play it safe, moving behind the wall. The turrets then begin engaging the mech over the walls. When he charges in to walk through the breach, I close the distance, then jump over the wall to evade more of its fire. The turrets then finish him off. But unfortunately, the mech explodes, preventing us from salvaging it. A few additional vehicles fall, achieving another objective. I spot and draw in another Jägermech to the north, taking him out with a nearby ammo dumps. Now it's time for a quiet stroll to the extraction point.
Mission successful.
While I'm disappointed we missed the Vulture, I really don't want to retry that long mission to try and salvage it. We grab everything else. Steel finishes the mission with 11 vehicles and 3 mechs destroyed.
Mech Warrior promoted to Elite.
Alright, this promotion is what we've been waiting for. We now have the option to select the PPC Specialist skill, giving us a big boost to our favorite loadout. Back to the mech bay. Of course, I forget to sell my surplus mechs again, but at least I left some cash in reserve still. Let's go.
Commencing deployment. Mech Warriors prepare for combat.
For House Liao Mission 4, we are given 6 objectives. Destroy both HPG transmitters, capture all 3 weapons facilities, destroy the Davian dropship, and extract. We are also notified in the briefing that given that this mission takes place on the orbiting moon, we will not have any access to support vehicles. To top that off, the map is littered with bases featuring Gauss rifle turrets. This is the type of scenario I've been dreading for this run. I begin making my way to the north, towards the closest turret base, when I'm soon intercepted by multiple enemy Uller mechs equipped with ER lasers and autocannons. I immediately disengage, not desiring a repeat of the last mission. I try to circle around to make a move to get the base, when 2 storm vehicles appear in front, blocking my approach. Great. I begin engaging the vehicles until they've left the base completely. Then I jump in, grabbing the turret control. Now we flip the odds in our favor. As I'm drawing them all north, I get a transmission.
Mech power detected. We are clan warriors. We are superior to your ragged band in every way.
Oh, clan mech warriors waiting for us. Even more good news. I've already taken significant damage, so I jump up to the hill to the north. I'm hoping I can use my jump jets to draw the enemies to walk around the hill, then jump behind and return to the base. I wait a few moments, then jump back. Turns out they didn't take the bait. All the enemies are still waiting for us and open fire from all sides. This does not bode well for us.
Mission failed.
I refit our heavy mech with all LRMs, this time approaching the base from the west. I have a little trouble getting Steel to move into the control rather than firing, but eventually jump in and secure the base. The enemies almost immediately approach and destroy the nearby wall. I jump out and head west with the Ullers in pursuit, dropping LRMs on them and drawing them again to the ridge to the north. Eventually, I score a knockdown, then jump back to finish him off. Okay, 1 mech down. I move northeast and ascend the ridge, engaging a storm vehicle behind, eventually taking him down. This is great and all, but without the ability to call a repair vehicle, I have no way to mitigate the damage we've already taken. I approach the next base from the north and take the turret control, taking even more Gauss damage. I pause here and start scanning the map for my next steps. That's when I spot it. A repair bay to the east. Finally, a glimmer of hope. If I can just get there. I order Steel to jump out of the base when an approaching storm vehicle unloads its particle cannons. Ouch. Well, now we're legged. I jump out and begin firing from the west as more vehicles approach, hitting our mech and the turret control. I can't escape, so it's only a matter of time. Well, so far all we've managed to do is to destroy one light mech and one vehicle, but at least we found something that could prove useful. I begin coming up with a plan. I switch to the Atlas fully kitted out with LRM launchers and give it another go. I then slowly run the lumbering Atlas north, then along the top edge of the map, trying to reach the repair base without alerting any enemies. I order Longshot to destroy the wall, then make my way to the capture. Though I'm a bit sloppy here and don't prevent her from destroying a turret in the process. Now the Ullers approach, but it's now 3 enemy mechs instead of 2. I hold the high ground, firing missiles amongst the incoming lasers and light autocannons. Slowly but surely, I put out enough missile fire to take down the first, then the second, and finally the third mech. Now I can repair up and continue on. Unfortunately, even this relatively minor repair drains about half of the repair bay. This soon could become unsustainable if I'm not careful. I push out to the west, towards some turret controls in the center, when I'm confronted by 2 55-ton Enfields. I turn and retreat back to the turrets. Wow, that was crazy. I don't exactly know what happened, but looking at the readout, the autocannon connected with the cockpit, taking our pilot out in a single shot without even destroying it. If anyone's got any ideas, I'd love to hear it. That said, after all that, we haven't even approached the objectives yet. Even if I had won that fight, I might get 1 or 2 more repairs in before the bay is depleted. Alright, back in the mech bay, I realized that the slow speed and lack of jump jets are proving to be too much of a liability. So I switch back to the PPC LRM equipped Lao Hu with steel piloting. I retrace the previous path to the north, moving much faster this time. But before I can approach the base, the Ullers already appear into view. I sprint around to the east, then jump in to grab the turret control. Guys, I don't even know. With how quickly I've gone down each time, I'm starting to seriously consider if this is even possible. I'm going to have to figure out a new approach. So, on the next try, I do just that, charting a new approach to the eastern base. I head south this time, dodging the turret bases, enemy patrols, and most importantly, the sensor towers. I have just enough room to squeeze through the eastern edge of the map without being detected. I'm really hoping this will keep the Ullers off our back, at least for a while. Instead of jumping in, I break the back wall, allowing me to capture the controls without exposing my mech to too much turret fire. I do a quick repair, then head northwest. Okay, 2 Wolfhounds attack from below as well as multiple Ullers from the north. It's time to book it. Now I draw back to the base. But I have to be careful that they don't get too close to it, lest they recapture or destroy the turret building. I engage the lead Wolfhound at range, eventually taking him down. Then the others approach from both the north and the west, forcing me to retreat under heavy fire. Even the turrets won't cover me for long. It's time to move. I engage them on the retreat, but take even more damage, losing components on the way out. I decide to take the long way around to the north, soon attracting the attention of the 2 Ullers near the very first base. If I stop, I'm toast, so I keep running, retracing the southern route from earlier, drawing the chasing mechs away for long enough to fully repair. Well, a chunk of the repair bay is now gone, but we're fixed up with all weapons active despite the destroyed left arm. We can't stay still though, because the enemies will soon be on their way. I head back to the northwest, trying to find a way into the central area with the HPG uplink objectives, when I'm stopped in my tracks by an approaching Enfield. I back up, engaging him outside his weapons range. It takes a lot of time and firepower, but as we approach the northwest corner of the map, we finally take him out. Okay, gotta keep moving. I head south, then east to peek at one of the weapons facilities in the center. It's under guard by a couple of storm vehicles who begin moving in our direction. Alright, can't grab that one yet. As I'm tracing along the edge of the ridge, I accidentally wander into a set of Gauss turrets. I make a split-second decision to jump in and capture the turret control, fortunately only taking minor damage. I then head south and circle around behind the next turret base, jumping in and grabbing it as well. Okay, we're slowly making progress, turning the map itself against our enemies. To the east, I use my jump jets to traverse the trench, trying to gain distance on the enemies I know are chasing me. I then hear explosions in the background. It appears that some of the mechs have reached our newly captured turrets. Alright, this is working. I take the time to repair again and jump into the center, towards the turret controls the Enfields were guarding. At first I'm confused at just seeing one turret for each turret control, but then I hear a hail of gunfire to the west. It turns out that those controls are for all of the autocannon turrets in the center, and they're rapidly falling to enemy fire. I rush in to join the melee, drawing fire from an Uller and an Enfield on my way through. But keeping the turrets alive in the meantime. I then take shots from storm vehicles forcing my retreat, but I did what I set out to do, allowing the turrets free rein to inflict heavy damage while I draw the attackers away. I paid for it in the process though, so now I need to get back to the repair bay. I head south, then turn east, heading back to the trench section I crossed before. Then I make a big mistake, jumping before I scouted if the coast is clear. I'm immediately hit by fire from two Ullers from the south, with an approaching northern mech as well. I frantically order Steel to jump back out before we're destroyed. I make it out, thinking I've escaped to safety, when another Uller appears in front. Oh no. I send Steel north as fast as I can, redirecting straight up to the repair bay. With all the damage I've taken, the rest of the bay is now completely depleted. That's it for the repairs. We're on our own now. I head out north as two Ullers join the pursuit. I order Steel to turn and fire. Nice shot. I begin engaging, then dragging the enemy mechs around the turret base. Taking some damage myself, but inflicting heavy losses upon the pursuers. As I turn the corner, I decide not to risk it further with this many enemy mechs chasing, so I cut and run to the north. I then move down through the center of the crater, firing on the HPG transmitters. I destroy the second transmitter, fulfilling our first objective. I then wait in the southwest corner of the crater, waiting for the pursuing mechs to follow through the turrets. Alright, there we go. 3 mechs down. We're down 3 components, but we're alive. I drop down to capture the westernmost weapons facility. And then we score clan LRMs. Let's go! Okay, gotta keep moving. I follow along the ridge towards the southeast weapons facility. Whoa! Okay, that off-screen Jaeger mech scared me. It's time to take my armless mech to the southeast objective. I carefully scout using my jump jets, which reveals an Enfield along with a horde of powered armored infantry. I jump back, then lead them to the center autocannons. I'm not taking any chances with these guys. I take out the mech myself, but let the turrets take care of the rest. Alright, now that the facility is clear, I capture it to gain clan ultra autocannons.
Objective complete.
I pause for a moment now to take stock of the situation. We've got a mix of friendly and enemy-controlled turrets to the south of the crater, which I need to avoid. The final weapons facility and dropship are on a plateau to the southwest. When I peek there, I spot another repair bay. Okay, that's huge. If we can manage to repair up even once more, it'll be a massive help towards completing the mission. I carefully approach from the north, then jump a few times to gain high ground vision. I then spot our first clan opponent. The 55-ton medium Ryuken, more commonly known as the Stormcrow, is a fast, versatile enemy mech, sporting a mix of clan large pulse lasers, ER lasers, LRMs, and Streak SRMs. It can put damage on at any range, but really shines in the medium range bracket. We'll have to avoid giving him that opportunity. I just barely catch a glance at him as he begins to pursue us. Knowing that he's probably going to have to head to the ramp to the south, I wait a few moments, then jump back up to the repair bay when I spot incoming ERPPC fire. Phew. I repair up as quick as I can, finishing just before he gets back up the ramp. On my way out, I grab the sensor control, then jump back to the north. That's when I spot another threat waiting for me. The 70-ton heavy Thor Omni mech, better known as the Summoner, is a great all-around opponent. It's a little slower than the Stormcrow, but features increased mobility via jump jets and is armed with a mix of clan weaponry, an ERPPC, 2 ER lasers, an ultra-heavy autocannon, and 3 Streak SRMs. A threat at any range, but especially dangerous up close. So that explains where the PPC fire came from. Well, I've already committed to the jump, so I frantically redirect my mech to evade west before the Summoner can close the distance, getting hit by PPC fire along the way. I opt to try and lure him into the lone remaining friendly turret on the south side of the crater. I use my jump jets to jump down into the crater when I spot the Stormcrow closing fast. I can't take on both of these guys together, especially with very little support. Instead, I turn west, circling back to the Summoner. I find him holding position near destroyed Gauss turrets, refusing to follow any further. So I begin engaging him at range, where I should have a weapons advantage. Then I take a big hit. That was a headshot, causing the cockpit to show critical damage. My pilot effectiveness bar is now nearly 0. I cannot afford another one of those. So I back off and run to evade the Stormcrow, working back to the repair bay. And yeah, even that repair barely moved the needle on my health bar. Not good. I then decide on a new tactic. I jump down to watch for the Stormcrow's approach, then jump back up to the plateau, heading west, passing a set of fuel tanks for the enemy dropship. I then patiently wait for the right moment. Alright, it's a huge hit, but he's still not down. I engage him at range, ordering Steel to target the cockpit. After a series of shots, he finally homes in on his target. One down. I move back east and finish off the dropship. Now, I could go ahead and capture the undefended final objective and depart at this point, but if you guys know me, you'll know that I can't pass up an opportunity to try to salvage a great clan mech. I carefully move north, finding the still stationary summoner waiting for us. Oddly enough, he's still stuck facing the wrong way, allowing us some free shots at range. I don't waste the opportunity. I then head back south and capture the weapons facility, gaining clan Gauss rifles in the process. It's time to get out of here.
Objective complete. Mission successful.
Wow, that was a marathon of a mission. I don't know if I could really convey how hectic that was, having to constantly stay on the move with no support vehicles and very limited repairs. But we made it with the bonus of 2 awesome clan mechs and equipment as our reward. Steel finishes with 7 mechs destroyed and the Liao's sunburst of gallantry. And that concludes part 2 of our MechCommander 2 challenge run. But there are still some huge challenges ahead of us. If you've enjoyed what you've been watching, please consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel. It would really mean a lot. And, as always, take care.